Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to another TSL show review. And today we are reviewing The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I know we were supposed to review it Sunday, but we didn't celebrate Labor Day yesterday. We did our Sunday, so we didn't have enough time to get everything prepped and done for Saturday because I was outside tearing my family up in phase 10. So this episode definitely set the tone for what the rest of the season is going to look like. It set the tone as far as alliances, and it's letting you guys know Sutton, Garcelle, and Crystal are the main three. This is the big three. This is what I am declaring the new age of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is coming to. Um, I don't feel like I feel like since we have gotten these three that the show has been going off in such a great direction because it is no longer a gang up scenario. There's a lot more people, and these folks are um, these folks are basically their own team. They're not really into jumping in into what the rest of the girls are doing. They're not ganging up on one person. It's definitely a cast shakeup in a good way, and they're definitely giving the flop force five, as I call them, -1 because she is no longer on the show, a run for their money. So the scene starts off with um, a pickup from last season. I mean, last episode, and you guys already know that I hate, not hate, but I have a strong disdain for steady making an old storyline a reoccurring thing after multiple episodes. I feel like maybe one or two episodes at the most is fine, but here we are on episode 3, and we're still talking about the same thing, and nobody wants to keep talking about it. And I personally feel like a lot of these girls don't have storylines, so they're going to use the big three as their storyline. So let's just go on ahead and play the first clip, and I'll explain what I mean by the rest of these girls don't really have storyline.
Sutton and we had a conversation yesterday that was intense. I'm not trying to spark more issues. I'm just taking my conversation with her. We were talking about what happened to Dorit. She said, well, I'm having a bad day too. And then her reaction was so strange. She said, I'm sorry that I didn't have a gun put to my head.
You're kidding
She
me.
said, I mean, I just thought she was really being insensitive, honestly.
Did she really say, I'm sorry I didn't have a gun to my head? Is that really what came out of her mouth?
Yeah.
That's just a tad too insensitive.
I think
So I didn't play the whole clip, but at the end of the clip, Garcelle basically has said that she rather the ladies have a conversation while Sutton was there. She didn't want them to have a conversation without Sutton being there. So therefore, Sutton can defend herself. And now these ladies have been around Sutton for about a good 3 years now, and everybody all knows that Sutton is she's socially awkward when it comes to certain things. So the fact that we are steady talking about this one scenario when there's multiple people out here who's alleging that this robbery thing is not real is getting annoying. Here we are in the third episode, and you guys are steady talking about this robbery ordeal. And at the end of the day, she sent the lady a text message. No, she didn't go over there. No, she didn't stop her life. It plays on to this theme of um, trying to force everybody to feel the same. So, amongst those ladies, if I could get a picture up of them, if I have the picture of them, actually I do. So let's go with the smaller image. So, amongst these ladies, outside of the big three, let's see if I can get a bigger photo. Outside of the big three, which is Crystal, Erica, and Sutton, and minus Diana, which is this lady on the far left. The two standing up close to the middle, the one sitting in a chair and the other one sitting with this long glitter comforter on, are the Flop Force 5, minus 1, because she's no longer on here. They are trying to make the rest of the ladies comfort Dorit in the way which they are deeming comfortable. So they want all of them to be around her. They want everybody to stop what they're doing and be there for her. Unlike a lot of these folks, a lot of these ladies have their own businesses. They're self-sufficient females, regardless of however they got their money. They flipped it and they've become self-sufficient females. So they're, running businesses, doing the whole nine. I don't understand what was the big ideal of us steady talking about the situation, because if you guys watched the last live on this, which was about 2 weeks ago, Crystal and Sutton had already talked. Not Crystal and Sutton, Dorit and Sutton had already talked. And Dorit and Sutton had already talked. Dorit had let it go. Prior to that, actually, no, I'm moving a little far ahead of myself, guys. Sorry. It's actually playing out in this episode. So, moving forward, we don't want to hear nothing else about the situation again. And let's see if I can find it. Did I not put it on here? Please tell me I put it on here. Actually, I might have not. But basically, Sutton and Sutton and Dorit had spoken. And when Sutton and Dorit had spoke, Sutton had basically told Dorit, she apologized for being inconsiderate of her feelings and wording what she said wrong. because the way that it was presented to her, it was presented in a manner that Sutton basically tried to downplay her feelings. And in all reality, Sutton never tried to downplay her feelings. Sutton basically just stated that she had a lot of stuff going on that day also, dealing with the things that she was dealing with, as long as with immigration and trying to get her designer over. They tried to make it seem like it was such a ordeal, but she was constantly saying they were trying to make it seem like a big ordeal because Dorit allegedly had a gun pointed at her head. Sutton said, well, yeah, her thing is a little bit bigger because I didn't have a gun put to my head. And Kyle basically ran with it and was like, oh, she said that, this, and that, and a whole lot of, and reworded it. And the way that she said it made it seem like Sutton came off insensitive and didn't really care too much about Dorit's feelings. So Sutton and Dorit talked about it, and Kyle was just sitting there, like just looking at them. And this is one thing that I don't like about Kyle. Well, I'm not going to say I don't like. This is a problem that I have with Kyle. I understand that there has to be somebody that has to be messy, and there's multiple ladies um, on this platform that's messy. So there's really no need for that to be that. But when you have no storyline and you lack it, you kind of just harp off mess. Because if you guys don't know, a lot of Kyle's storylines revolve around her sisters. She's good with her sisters, so it's nothing that she can really do. And she can't turn on any of her other friends because it comes off kind of like two-faced. So what she's doing now, she's becoming a pot stirrer, but she's doing it in the wrong way. If you want to be a pot stirrer and this is what you want to do, please go ahead and watch other seasons and perfect your craft. Because you can't be a half messy pot stirrer, especially with your track record of the stuff that you do. Because you contradict yourself a lot on this show, Kyle. She contradicts herself a lot on a lot of things, and a lot of people were calling her out about that. But after the show, after the event they were at, which was Kyle's grand opening for her, I want to say sixth or seventh um, clothing store, because that's the only thing she opens. She opens up clothing stores, and then they close like a few months afterwards. They had went back to Kyle's house in La Quinton, and while they were there, Garcelle made it a point, and I'm so happy that she's doing this. That being that they decided to have a conversation behind Sutton's back, why won't they just have the same conversation while Sutton's there? And once again, this is why I'm declaring the girls the big three. This is why I'm declaring them the big three. And I just feel like this is Garcelle's third season on here, but Garcelle has mastered the embodiment of being a housewife and has perfected her craft good enough to the point where she has the potential of becoming the new face for Beverly Hills. And I only say that because she's giving the Flop Force 5 what they were dishing out all this time, and now they can't take it. So everything that they're doing, they're getting the repercussions of it from somebody else who's really genuine with her friends, and it's becoming an issue. And this is how the conversation went.
I've apologized, and
I understand,
and
Sutton.
I'm as genuine as I can be.
I know.
Wow.
I am.
Right now
I
at
know,
the
I see
store,
that.
it felt genuine when you apologized.
Yeah. I should not have put myself first over Dorit's problem. I should never have done that.
There's no way that you cannot be
Empathetic.
empathetic.
I didn't know what your state of mind was. I didn't know.
By the way, you can always reach out to someone in something like that. Of course
Well,
you can.
I don't know. Boundaries are really very powerful things. When my father shot himself, I did not want people calling me and coming over. I didn't. When my father died, I had an influx of people.
All right. So, to make a long story short, Sutton has trauma when it comes to any of these situations involved with robberies, um, with a person taking a life, well, taking their own life, all that stuff. When Sutton was younger, she was robbed. Sutton walked in to check on her father. Her father killed himself in front of her. So, because Sutton's socially awkward and this is how she is, and because of this trauma, she doesn't fully express it in the way that she expresses it. And especially because she had made a good point where she said that when you're somebody with the quality of being there for others and you tend to cater to others, you do it all the time. And she was saying that Dorit is one of those people who she's an excellent host to folks regardless of whatever situation she's in. And she's like, because of that, she knows that if she's around those, if everybody comes over all at once, she was like, she knows that she'll never fully be there so that people console her because her sole action will be to make sure that everybody else is fine. And we're steady talking about the situation and steady talking about this situation, and it's not getting us nowhere. Why are we steady talking about this? They apologized at the store. Granted, Garcelle had brought this back up. Kudos to her for doing it again. Because if you guys are going to be talking about people behind their backs and y'all were doing the same thing last season and had a big issue about it, we just want to keep it 100 when we see each other face to face and we're all in the same room. And um, these ladies have a problem with people being genuine. I don't know how people view their friendships or how they want their friendships built off. But a lot of people's friendships are built a lot different than what they put out there. These group of females aren't really friends, in my opinion. I just think that they're really coworkers who portray themselves as friends because there's a lot of hypocrisy that goes on within this group. And I'm glad that Sutton, Crystal, and Garcelle are a part of this because they're breaking the barrier down for it. It's no longer becoming something so um, what is it? It's not coming something so utopic because that's what it was coming for. Every person that was on these shows, especially on Beverly Hills, the Flop Force 5 - 1 picked on somebody and kicked them out, and it was never we never had this many housewives holding a diamond this season. So the alliances are shifting. However, they were running the show before we got more than 7 housewives. It's a lot different. And I don't think that they necessarily can take that because a lot of these folks to be considered friends of the show. And when you become friends of the show, you don't have to do as much as the housewife does. So you just basically, pop up for like certain events and that's mainly that you get involved in stuff, but you're not really involved as much as other housewives are. And I feel like because we are officially having a wider range as far as diamond holders, it's giving people chances to actually click up and for actual friendships to be built And we're getting a fair shot with having the drama this season. So the next clip we have Mrs. Clayface, Diana Jenkins, calling herself coming for Sutton.
Not Mrs. Clayface.
Yeah, girl, Mrs. Clayface.
Can I say something? I really don't know Sutton that well, but I feel like that she's clumsy with her words and her behavior.
Yep.
You come off really weird and wrong. She does things and says things that really do hurt people. I am very forgiving, but I don't.
Diana's not going to last long. I'm going to just,
Why? Why?
because
Why do you feel like she's not gonna last long? I mean,
I feel like she's not going to last long because when she got brought into the episode prior to, she got brought in talking about the charity stuff. And
mhm,
basically, Kyle, um, she alluded to her being, basically the reason why she was brought on here. And basically what Kyle
mhm,
alluded to was, Kyle was like that she knew that that Diana was part of the charity foundation. So she was like, she was
mhm,
thinking that she was going to bring that Lisa Rinna, because if you guys remember on the last episode, it was the whole debate about Sutton saying that she paid for Lisa and Lisa's husband's um, seat at her table, and Sutton lied and said, Rinna lied and said she did, and Sutton had receipts. Diana runs that charity foundation. Like she's one of the board members on that foundation. So Kaya basically was like that she was bringing her here, so it was kind of like she had backup. It wasn't until Sutton produced that receipt that Diana really couldn't have sided with Rinna because she had a receipt, and Rinna didn't bring her receipt out because she was trying to follow her friend's lead. And once again, here we are. This is your second time around. You don't know these people. You met these people on two occasions. Why are you trying to build an opinion off of somebody off of two occasions? Where does that feasibly make sense at? You're building an opinion off of somebody off of two seasons, and basically this is what I meant by you can see where basically about how the cast is going to be. You can see, I don't want to say that it's teams, but you can see like who's friends with who. And these three, the big three, are the ones that's sticking by each other. Sutton Garcelle and Crystal are riding for each other. And Diana just sold her ticket onto the Flop Train Express. That's what she did. Not sold, she bought a ticket to the Flop Train Express. She's going into the land of forgotten housewives if they don't give her back a second season because you just said with the wrong queen, and not even trying to be like, oh no, cocky, like nothing cocky, but you're beefing with somebody that you don't even know. You're picking a beef with somebody that you don't even know. Ain't really it's not clicking. That elevator's not going all the way upstairs for her. So, what you like Diana? You think Diana's gonna last?
So, yes, I like Diana. Um, I love feeling the whole sugar mama thing. I love it. I love every she's not afraid to speak her mind.
We ain't hear you.
And can you hear me? Can
Yeah,
you hear me? So,
yeah.
oh, hold on. As I was saying. So, I love Diana. I love that she's a sugar mama. I love that she carried her child at a
You're getting choppy.
speaks
Which
her mind.
what headphones do you have in?
I have I don't even know. They're Bluetooth Plantronics.
Well, your
Can
headphones
you
are
hear me?
choppy, sis.
I don't know.
We
I've been
can hear
having a
you
lot
now,
of
but
technical difficulties since I got on. I've been trying to get on and going on right now. But since you guys can hear me, back to Diana. I love her. Love the sugar mama. Love the fact that she speaks her mind and she's unapologetic about it. She just says it. Like I don't think that is even like a rude thing when she says it. I just feel like that's just a part of who she is.
no,
But
I'm sorry.
I don't think that they really out. I don't think that she went that hard on Sudden. I feel like the girls went hard on oh man, what's the girl name? The lady
Go hard on hell.
the chat. Go to the chat.
Crystal.
Okay. So I I I feel like they went really hard on Crystal.
They did, and we'll get into that. But
I never first of
your
all,
stuff is still breaking up.
can you hear me? Hold on.
Yeah, but your stuff is
It's
steady
not
going in
my
and out.
mic. It's not my mic. My service is my Wi-Fi is good. I don't know why I keep going in and out. You know, I think I might know what it is.
But anyway, to piggyback off of your of what you said before we move on
Can you
to
hear me now? Is my mic good now?
the whole, yeah, yeah. But to
All right,
piggyback
I
off of
took it
what
off
you said before we move
automatic.
on to the crystal situation,
Hmm.
um, Diana has the aesthetic of what it's deemed to be a Beverly Hills housewife, which is the money, the lavishness, the expense.
Hmm.
Like she has that package. Her having a man that
Besides the
graduated
old,
when she was in her having a man that graduated when she was probably in college or dating her first man that she got all her money from. All of that stuff kind of fits into the aesthetic for it. But
hmm
as far as personality and how she's going about it, she's going to flop. I don't know. I just feel like she's inauthentic. You think that she's authentic. I feel like she's inauthentic. And I feel
And
like
we're talking
she's
about
already sided with who
Diana.
yeah, yeah. I feel like she already sided with who she's going to
I think
side with. So, huh?
I think she's a boss. I think she's a boss, and I think she's unapologetic. And I don't think that, like, one thing about Diana that's different than all the other women is she's the breadwinner. When she
I was going to
in
call
her
her a
household,
breadwinner.
she's
She
no. They all have their own
got her
money,
money
but
the same. She got her. She got her money the same way Sutton got her money. The same way Erica got her money. Well, Erica don't got no money. The same way Sutton got her money is the same way that she got her money. She just happened to be overseas with the person she divorced.
Mhm.
So don't necessarily
I don't.
make her boss because if that makes her boss, that makes every other single lady on that cast the boss. Huh?
I like her. I said I like her, and I don't think anything that she said was wrong. Like Sutton does say some awkward, clumsy mess. I felt like she should have used the word messy because she's very messy. Well, no, no, let me take
You
that back.
you
Sutton
don't
isn't
know
messy.
Sutton.
Kyle is messy.
You don't you don't know Sutton. Kyle is messy. You don't know Sutton. So because
Yes,
you're
very.
getting this is your first time getting to know Sutton, it
Hmm.
comes off this way. It came off with everybody who originally met Sutton when Sutton first came on. Everybody felt the same way about Sutton. Everybody
Hmm.
felt the same way that she was awkward and all of the things that Diana was trying to say. So kudos to you for Diana for hashtagging Sutton on Twitter and finding what people were saying from 2 years ago to say now. Kudos and congratulations to you on that part. Um, but I just feel like I don't think I don't think that you can inform an opinion on somebody off of two occasions and they're group occasions. Like they haven't hung out like a lot of these other women have. She met her on two group occasions, and the two group occasions that she met her in basically were chaotic scenes because Messi faced Kyle. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you ain't saying nothing.
I already said what I had to say about it.
So we're about to move on
I'm not a fan of
to.
Sutton since she came on this. Well, since I started watching the season, I haven't been a fan of her since I came in watching it. So I don't like honestly this episode. Like she gave like two or three different excuses about why she reacted the way that she reacted. I'm not a fan of her at all. I feel like she coming with a whole bunch of excuses to cover up the fact that she's, I don't know if I can say it on here, but a bitch, like, because that's what she comes off as. At least
Well, that's
Diana
because
is more
they're.
pleasant with it.
Go ahead.
I said at least Diana is more pleasant with it. Sudden is just like I don't. I get that whatever she went through was a traumatic event or whatever when the the robber came in, as she said, and her father, her mother said, "Get the gun." And her father got the gun and shot the robber and all this. Like I get that whole thing, but every time someone comes and they ask her, it's oh because when I was a child this happened. Oh, then now the next time it's oh when I was a child, this happened, and then my dad had to get a gun, and then my dad had to shoot, and then
It's the same two
oh, it's
instances though.
because
It's the same two stories. It's never been three,
I
three,
get
four,
it.
five, six different stories.
No,
It's the
no,
same two
it
stories.
was. It was no. You're very wrong. I just watched it. The second one, the first two, yes, those are the same
Was
story.
her talking
The
about her
second
dad
one
killing
was not
herself?
the same story. Killing
The one
himself.
was about the
Yes,
robber. The other situation
that
was
was
about her
totally
killing
different.
herself. Equate. I said this. I said it's been
That
the
was
same two stories. You said it's a different story every time she talked. It's only been the same two stories since she said
okay.
anything
The
about this.
first story was no. Uh, the first story was with her and Kyle when they first sat down. It was the same it was the story about her dad and the robbery and stuff. This one, the last one, the second one was her saying that basically it was because her dad committed suicide. Like, choose one. You talking about
She
Diana,
said,
girl, you flopping. No, Sudden is flopping. Like, just
"Girl,
make up your mind.
Sutton is very
I
much
don't like it.
winning first and
You say so.
foremost, and secondly, this is the same situation. Just like how we're debating this, is the same situation of what was going on between Crystal and the rest of the girls. Sutton never used two different instances. Sutton said that she has a problem when it comes to guns. She said she got robbed, which was that first story, and then she said the second story was her losing her father. You don't know Sutton because you've never watched the show while Sutton was on there. Then you'll understand the reason why Sutton feels the way that she feels when it comes to her father. It's different scenarios when you have when
I
different
get it.
factors are in play.
I get it. But just because I get that she went through stuff, everyone goes through things. Every single person that's on this earth goes through something. But when your friend just got robbed and it's like
Allegedly
all
got
on the
robbed.
news and
We're
stuff,
gonna
you
keep
don't
saying
say,
allegedly,
"Oh,
girl.
sorry, it wasn't me. Has been
Allegedly.
robbed." I just said allegedly has been robbed. Then and it's all on the news. You don't say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't have a gun pointed at my head." Like, who says that?
You
Like,
guys are reading
I don't
into
like
this
her. I'm
so
sorry. You gonna keep
wrong.
defending her? Go ahead, continue whatever.
Y'all are reading into this. Y'all are reading into this so wrong. But I don't know. I guess because this is norm for us, it doesn't come off different to us because this is something that people who live in urban community areas go through majority of the time. We hear gunshots like it's normal stuff for us around this way. I guess it's different for us, but that's just like any other scenario. They're self sufficient people. She's not banking off of nobody else's money. Guess what? When Kyle doesn't do this show, guess who money she's banking off of? Her husband's. The REIT doesn't work. When she's not doing nothing for her fashion line that she drops or dresses that she drops every 7 months
What
to a
does
year,
that have to do with
guess who
anything? What
guess
does
who
that
money
have
they're
to
banking
do with
off
her
of?
being a
They're
friend?
banking off their husband's money.
What does that have to
So
do
you're saying you're
with
saying
anything?
that a text message wasn't enough. Her checking on her through a text message wasn't enough.
Then that's what she should have
So she was supposed to stop what she was doing,
said. I like
fly
me. I
over
feel
to the
like we're
REIT,
spending too much time on this one part.
and then make this the whole thing about her life now. Yay or nay? Hello?
Say right now about that lady. Can you hear me?
I can't hear
Can you
you.
hear
Which
me?
one? Mute?
No.
What? Oh, yeah, girl, you are on mute. You gotta unmute yourself.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I don't know what's going on. Oh, there.
Hello?
That's better. Can you hear me now? Yeah.
We still can't hear you. Drop down and come back
Can
up.
you hear me? All
Hello?
right. Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hold on. Say something?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. What were we
I was saying that
what were we
at
talking
any given
about?
I was saying that basically because you were steady saying that Sutton was being an inconsiderate friend, I basically said
Hmm.
at any given point, if these girls' life stops, meaning Kyle, Lisa, Dorit, it would have been Erica, but now that she's no longer in anybody's tax bracket, she's down there with us. It's not her anymore.
You get why do you keep coming for Erica?
I keep telling you, when it's dumb, if it's dumb three, if their lives were to stop today and they were axed from this show, they would be perfectly fine because they have somebody to lean on. Garcelle, Sutton, and Diana.
Okay, but why are you saying it? Like, what does that have to do with her sitting there saying, sorry, it wasn't me that had a gun up to my head.
Because
Like
you
that has nothing to
because
do with anything. So what if she works? Who
because you
cares?
because you along with everybody else is steady
Everyone
trying you along
else
with
in the world works.
no you along with everybody, the working factor has nothing to do with it. I steady using the working factor as a stance because you and everybody else are trying to make it seem like she's supposed to stop what she's doing to go cater to this girl. And in all actuality, she can't do that. When she gets a chance to, she will. Nobody's not about to stop what they're doing just because the moment of because somebody that they're acquainted with. Because let's be honest, these girls are not friends. These people are acquaintances. They're coworkers. They're not about to stop what they're doing to go run to somebody when they have a million other one things scheduled for that one day. That's just like us. I would never expect for you to drive down 2 hours to see me for something. Like, let's be honest. And if we're going off of that, where was everybody's sympathy when it happened to Lisa Vanderpump? Everybody used the same excuse that Sutton had used when it was Lisa Vanderpump. And when Lisa was talking about how her brother had died and she was stuck in London for 5 days dealing with all of that other stuff, guess what they said? Everybody has problems, which is the overall theme of what this episode has become. as I play these, as the rest of these clips, a lot of like people are going to see the pattern because everybody else sees the pattern as it is already. It's just y'all people who choose to stand these girls that it becomes that they're held on a different standard than what they're actually supposed to be on. So up next we have, which has become the real thing, and it's deemed, do the ladies not validate ethnic cast members' feelings? And I don't even want to say that it's even ethnic cast members, but do the ladies validate their other cast members' feelings?
You know, we had our stuff before.
I was just giving your coat back, you know?
But I mean, like, if someone, like, drops on the ground and covers their body, you don't, like,
so
stay
sorry.
in the room, and then you said something like, what are you doing over there? I just felt, sort of like my space was violated a little bit.
I expressed how I was feeling, and you guys went on a very strong campaign, every single one of you, to police my feelings and tell me I was wrong about her intention.
The word violated gave the implication that it was sexual, like it felt like that.
Violation's a little strong. It's not.
Violation is.
It's not.
Violation is a big word.
I was not given any understanding. I was constantly told I was wrong, but how come they're not wrong? You said change the word to rude from violated. That's not how I felt.
Okay, did I think that you felt violated was a little extreme when she...
Do you need me to play it again so you can see the beginning of it?
I don't know what happened that season.
All right.
Yeah.
So basically, this
the
is
beginning.
all right.
You know, we had our stuff before.
I was just giving your coat back, you know?
But I mean, like, if someone, like, drops on the ground and covers their body, you don't, like,
so
stay in the
sorry.
room, and then you said something like, what are you doing over there? I just felt, sort of like my space was violated a little bit.
I expressed how I was feeling, and you guys went on a very strong campaign, every single one of you, to police my feelings and tell me I was wrong about her intention.
The word violate.
All right. So just of the scenario.
So what is she talking about? Like she was getting
Alright, so
changed or something, and she came in.
Yeah, last
Is that
year.
what she's saying?
Yes, last year they were at La Quinton, which is at the spot that they're at now, which is Kyle's home. Crystal had went into her
Right.
room. Basically, the ladies were done for the night, and they were all going to sleep. Crystal went to her room. Sutton seen she had left her jacket out there, so Sutton was doing the nice thing and was taking her jacket. Sutton knocked on the door. She didn't hear her, so Sutton basically had like opened the door and it said hello. But when she said open the door and said hello, Crystal was basically changing. And Sutton was letting her know that she was dropping her jacket off because she had left her jacket out there. Crystal said that she said something along the lines of like, well, what are you doing over there? And Crystal said she felt like she was violated because she came in there while she was basically getting herself together. Sutton apologized for it, but Sutton did tell her, because Crystal was thinking, and she did admit that she was wrong for thinking it. She thought that Sutton just had barged in her room. It wasn't until she seen the clip later on that she realized Sutton did actually knock on the door. So she felt like Sutton had just barged in her room to give her jacket. And when she said that she felt violated, the rest of the girls, which is why it's hypocrisy now, was steady saying that her feelings wasn't valid and that she shouldn't have used the word violated. They're like, she shouldn't have used the word violated on Sutton because that's not it. And that's what her whole point was, about this. So I'm gonna continue to play the rest of the clip, and then we'll go on from there.
Asked me to give her the benefit of the doubt. But you guys can all go against her now and say that because it affects you guys.
I'm not going against.
I'm just very triggered by the whole thing.
Crystal is just so dramatic about everything. I don't know if she is a millennial or whatever, generation XYZ, whatever, but it seems like she always has something to complain about. Calm down.
I can't seem to draw, in my mind, the correlation.
It's extremely connected. And I would have appreciated you at least giving me a little grace
Crystal,
to understand how I felt.
I'm sorry, with all due respect, you cannot compare the situation to that. They are very...
All right, so before we hop on to this validation stuff, Kyle, who's dramatic? Huh? Who's dramatic, Kyle? Huh? Who
I'm sorry.
is dramatic?
I love you, even though you pissed me off this episode.
Who's dramatic, Kyle? Are we really?
We all know
going
Kyle is a crybaby.
Are we really going to talk about people being dramatic? Who's dramatic? Kyle.
Oh.
Miss New Nose. Miss Shovel Face Chin. Miss I Use My Sisters for a Storyline. Who's dramatic? So, before we play the rest of what happened, do you feel like Crystal had made a good point? Hello?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I don't think anything is wrong with what Crystal was saying. I feel like she has a valid point. Like, it doesn't matter how any of the other girls view that situation. It was her that was in that situation. And if she felt uncomfortable, I mean, if she wanted other people to walk in her room, she would have left the door open. But even though you said she did knock and everything, but I don't think that her feelings should be overlooked because she was the one that felt them. Like, she was the one that was uncomfortable.
So being that Sutton is uncomfortable with the stances on her trauma, is this not the same?
How is that the same?
Girl,
it's not even on the same level. I'm not on mute. I said, how is that the same? It's not on the same level. Like,
it's
two different things. It's not even like, how do you compare those?
This is what they're talking about. And I'm about to play the rest of this clip. And just like how you just said that, they just said the same thing. It's not the scenario that makes anything any different. It's the whole theme as it is. And the whole theme of it is to stop policing people's feelings. That's what the whole theme falls under.
Who's policing Sutton's? Who's taking
Kyle
that from her?
Kyle and them is.
The whole issue is, I don't even want to talk about her no more. I don't care. I don't like her.
No,
I don't think that no one is taking her
this is
feelings
we're gonna
away
have to
from
talk
her.
about it
I
because
don't
this is
think
the
that
whole that's the whole theme of this episode. This is what
th-
the whole thing with
I don't
Crystal explaining how she felt
I
and
don't think
everything
that
revolved around Sutton.
I don't think that anybody I don't think that no one's take I don't think that anyone is taking her feelings away from her. I think that she can keep her feelings. I think that all the women are losing the whole point of the issue and the whole Dorit Harry into like I feel like they should be loving on her and consoling her and helping her through that, being, speaking from personal experience of, someone coming in your house and stealing and taking from you while you're there. I don't think that Sutton's um I think that like she has her feelings. She has the right to feel the way she wants to feel, but I don't think that she something that happened in the past about her dad, which I know like this me is I really do not like when people use death as an excuse to be an
It's not.
asshole.
It's trauma. It's not death. It's trauma. I wish people
I
stopped
don't
saying it. It's
think
trauma. It's
all
not
right,
death. Death and trauma are
you're
two
gonna
different
keep
things.
supporting her. At the end of the day, you're gonna I don't even trust her. I don't like nothing from her. I hate her resting bitch face and she always has this I don't know. I don't like anything about her. The way that she looks at the women. Like, and I really don't like the fact that Erica pokes at her kind of feel she deserves it because she's like, I don't. I think she's a bitch.
Well, that's because
Sorry.
you're standing somebody that's 50 who my bank account is bigger than. But um like I was telling you beforehand, go back and watch last season.
Her legal fees and everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
Y'all
her
keep
bank
coming
account,
for Erica, but Erica's gonna be right on top where she been.
my bank account, your bank account, my niece's bank account, your son's bank account, and even a homeless man's bank account out here is bigger than hers.
I just say
So
enjoy it now because one thing for certain, for sure, what happened with her husband is what her husband did. She has nothing to do with that, and I don't think that she's
allegedly,
gonna be down forever. Allegedly,
allegedly,
and I don't
she
think
has
she's
nothing to
gonna be
do with it.
down forever. I think a lot
Even though there's even though there's multiple
of people
even
are
there's
hoping that she don't get back up, but
even though there's multiple receipts against her showing that she was
one thing,
definitely
child,
a part of his thing.
child. Why?
But
Because we ever see her work on the Housewives, not one,
she got brought on Housewives. But
except
if
for
you
to be a 60-year-old pop star. That's it, and I
because
love it.
because you're because you're
Next,
so because you're not in tune with everything that goes on, you don't get to see it. So you only watch it through the views of Housewives.
Mhm.
We're on a whole different it's a whole nother season now. So everything that happened last year, you're not you're never going to see on Twitter again unless you like deep dive. But who's going to deep dive for something that happened all the way at the end of last year? Nobody's not going to deep dive that far. But there's multiple receipts that shows that she before Housewives that she worked for his law firm. She was an accountant at his law firm and all of that stuff. So names was on there and everything. So he had a unless he was forcing her to do any of those things, then she's definitely implicated on there.
was Joe forcing Teresa?
No, but guess what? Teresa was spending the money lavishly.
Child, and the men be doing it's like A man.
You said what?
And I said it's just like a man in the hood that sells drugs, and his girl goes to work every day. She ain't got
Don't
nothing
do that. Don't do that. We was just talking about how
to
it's
do with
apples and oranges.
she.
It's apple and
She
oranges.
ain't
Don't
got
do
nothing
that.
to do.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
What?
Don't apples and
What's
oranges.
apples?
Apples and
What are
oranges.
you
Don't do
talking
that.
about? I'm so
Don't do
lost right
that.
now.
Don't do that.
What are
Apples
you
and oranges.
talking about?
Just like how I was equating Sutton and Crystal's experience, and you said that's two different scenarios. These are two different scenarios with those folks. Don't do that. Don't equate that. I'm pulling to you. Don't equate them to that. Two different scenarios. Can't do that. Two different scenarios.
It's not done. I can't.
Two different scenarios. Don't do that. Two different scenarios. But
It's the
before
same exact. It's
before
a
Crystal,
girlfriend and a boyfriend, or a husband and a wife together, whether it's a blue collar crime or whatever you call a drug deal, a drug crime or a little petty crime or whatever, it's still the same thing. She's not out there doing the crime that he's doing, regardless of who work as an assistant or something, getting paid for doing nothing. Why wouldn't you?
she was never an
Do
assistant. She
that
was an
mean if
accountant.
something go wrong, should you go down with me? Should you go down with me because you my family and I'm putting you on?
In the eyes of the law, yes.
Man, child.
In the eyes of the law, yes.
How's she an accountant? He met. Did she go to school? Because when
There are receipts.
how's she
There are
accountant?
there are receipts, regardless of whatever went on prior to what she did in her life before she met him. There are receipts. There are receipts with her name and her signature on his company stuff. Right when all of that stuff was going on, there was receipts and stuff on her with her name and her signature on his stuff, as in working for him, not as in she was going in there and she was depositing money, because just like she said, she never touched any of the money. So there will never be any record statements of anything being in her name because everything went through Tom. But once again, there are records stating that her name and her signature was on his stuff as an employee. A difference. Yes, she became a housewife,
Moving on.
but
That girl's
she
not
also
going
was
to
an
jail.
employee.
She's not going to jail. She's going to get her money back, and
What
everybody
money?
sitting
What money
back
did she
hating and waiting
have?
on her.
What money did she have?
Child, she had money.
That check that she got when she was doing what? What money did she have? Any money that she's ever going to get back is the money that she got from Bravo. Any of that other money that she had was burn victims, orphans, and widows money that was rightfully theirs that they never got. So what money?
Child, they got money. They got money.
Yeah, if she getting money for them clippings that she charging $300 for people to pay for, that she can't even properly execute in her head, and they showing her tracks in the back of her head, then yeah, she should have a lot of it, enough to get her a 4 for 4. Um, so
You steady
before
coming for
Crystal,
Erica, but I guarantee you her rent probably like 5,000-6,000 a month. She got money.
before Crystals goes on about her thing, Erica tries to come for Sutton again, and Garcelle said, "Oh, here we
Look at her
go."
with her resting bitch face.
The same thing Garcelle did, and that Garcelle said is the same thing everybody else in the world said.
Dressed like a geriatric teenager.
Vintage, a lot of money.
Geriatric
The same,
teenager.
the same thing Garcelle said is the same thing that the rest of the world said. I don't know how many times we have to continuously say this. Erica, argue with somebody in your tax bracket. This girl is paying you dust. If a fan was to walk past
I think
you,
Erica is just upset and she's just trying to find somebody to take it out on,
if
honestly.
sh if she's
That's what I
upset,
feel like was over
if she's
Erica.
upset, she needs to be upset with everybody with the exception of Lisa Rinna. Because everybody with the exception of Lisa Rinna and Diana, because Diana's not on here anymore, basically questioned her integrity. Did they do their stuff in the vicinity of Erica? Sutton did. Garcelle kind of. But you know where Kyle and Dorit did theirs? In their confessionals. Never once. Her whole issue with Sutton is because Sutton called her a liar. Girl, you did lie. Her whole thing with Sutton is that Sutton called her a liar. Kyle and Dorit never said the word liar, but the implications and how they worded it basically called her a liar. So, if she's going to have that same issue with Sutton, she could have the same issue with Kyle. She could have the same issue with Dorit. What's the difference here? But she goes on to tell Sutton that everything that Sutton said has been disproven. And this is everybody's face, including mine. Please tell me it's a better pick. Disproven where, girl? Nothing Sutton said has been disproven. I don't know what quack lawyer you have, which is probably not too much. You probably got you a public defender because you ain't got the money to hire you a real attorney. Whatever quack lawyer you have, please tell them to stop giving you advice because the advice that they're giving you is not good advice. Nothing that you have said has been disproven because everything has taken place in California, and this is where the charges are being put into. Your stuff is going to be based in California. Nothing has been disproven about your stuff, sweetheart. Your trial takes place in California. When they said something to her about, when she said something to Sutton, and I'm about to find it. When she said something to Sutton about what Sutton said, Sutton asked her, well, in return for what you did to me, do you feel like what you did to me was basically warranted? And she was like, yeah, it is, and I'll do it 1,000%. So she can do it 1,000% too, and it shouldn't be no problem with nobody. Because you're trying to pick a fight with somebody so you can keep a check because you don't want to talk about your legal battles. So now you want to beef with somebody so you can stay on the show because without the show, sweetheart, you have nothing. You can't pay for unpaid paid intern that you have. But anyway, I'm done talking about I want to be Madonna at the age of 37. This scene right here, not only has it set the dynamic, but crystal clear Kyle. And I'm so glad that a lot of these girls are getting Kyle together.
I'm done.
confused.
No, I'm not talking about it.
She doesn't understand.
They're never going to understand. So I'm not going to talk about it anymore. There's only so much that you can express how you feel. If someone doesn't accept how you feel, you let it go.
No, it's not that. We are allowed for each individual. By the way,
I understand your perspective. Your perspective is, I am not allowed to feel violated. It's too strong.
Crystal, you're being too dramatic about this. Each situation is different.
I never
With
said
another
we have the
situation.
same situation. I'm triggered by what's happening right now.
I understand
That's
that.
all.
But I can react to this situation one way and your situation another way.
I'm not talking about it anymore.
When I'm comparing
I
this
can't
to
talk
that,
to you
like
guys
you're
anymore
comparing
about it.
apples to oranges. It's like,
You can't say that. Her feelings can't be apples to oranges. I get it, it's a different scenario, but it's still her feelings.
Because my feelings are irrelevant to them.
Not true.
Stop. I'm done. You guys, I'm done. Stop.
Not true.
It is. Get real.
Are you out of your mind?
I'm done.
confused.
No, I'm not talking about it. No.
Kyle, you're being so dramatic, Crystal. You're being so dramatic, Crystal. You're being so dramatic, Crystal. Kyle, you're being dramatic. You're being dramatic, Kyle. I present to you the big three. The dynamics have been set. Somebody had made a very good point about this. And what they basically said was that these girls, meaning not these girls, mainly Kyle, is trying to force the rest of the folks. So I have this one mind, one body, one soul opinion, girl. This is not sports. This is reality TV. People are going to have different opinions. This is not new to her. This is not new, but it's new to her at the same time. Because she's so used to having multiple people against one person and she gets to hide her hands. She gets to throw the grenade and everybody else gets to do what they do and she gets to hide her hands and sit back and play like she's everybody's friend. She felt like she felt like this was going to be the dynamic for a long time. Thank you, Bravo. Thank you, NBC Universal. Thank you to everybody that was involved with the casting process for this stuff. Thank you for giving us a new dynamic. Because without a new dynamic, this show would have flopped and it would have been airing on Peacock. Just like Dallas, just like Orange County, and just like Miami. Thank y'all for giving us a new dynamic. And thank you to the big three for making these ladies work. Crystal made a very great point in saying because it's not something that they do not understand, it does not matter to them. Thank you for somebody finally said it.
What is Crystal hiding? Shoot, now with Sudden, what you doing over there?
She's not hiding. She wasn't hiding nothing, but she basically was saying that last year they basically tried to police her feelings, and she was like,
Mhm.
this. She was like, this year they're doing the same thing with trying to police Sutton's feelings, but not understanding the full reason why. When she said that she felt violated, they were like, you can't say that because that's too much of a strong word. But because
Mhm.
Sutton basically explained what happened, they was like, well, it's kind of like, well, that happened to you, but still, this is this is how you should have acted. You should have acted like the rest of us. You should have got out your bed and you should have drove over there to Dorit's house in front of cameras and got your pictures taken by paparazzi so we can talk about it while we're on the show together.
Hmm.
I wish I had this scene, but there was a scene where Kyle and Dorit, Kyle and Dorit was talking about something, and I want to say maybe it was Dorit talking to Kyle, and basically she was doing the same thing that Kyle's doing to everybody else on here, and Kyle was like, "Well, you can't tell me how to feel. 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 So why isn't that awarded to everybody else?" Hmm.
Child.
How Miss Dramatic?
I don't know why you keep bringing Kyle up. Like, I did want to say that Kyle was a complete a-hole this episode because I just felt like she was the charade of Beverly Hills. Like, and I felt like that was a D move. Like,
No. You know
and
what?
I
You
was
know what
happy
she?
that Garcelle. I was happy that
Go ahead.
Garcelle.
You're going in and out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is this good?
Yeah.
So I was saying I'm happy that Garcelle finally, like, Garcelle stood up for Sutton and was like, um Sutton Sutton being here instead of behind her back, which is really good because a lot of females tend to, speak about an issue behind another female's back instead of directly just talking to that person about their issue at hand. And yes, Kyle did confront Sutton when she said what she said, but I don't feel like Kyle should have brought it back to the girls, knowing that everything that's going on with Dorit and everything, like, should not be conscious of it. And I felt like that was the situation because even Dorit even said it to her, like, even like think that, or I'm not even going to bring that up because, and I felt like great because Kyle shouldn't have never brought it up. And then Kyle's like, yeah, I know. Then if you knew, then why did you bring it up? You're on, you're riding Sutton's tail about being inconsiderate to Dorit, but yet and still you're doing it because you felt like, yeah, like people had this, I don't even know what it, like this thing with them where they want to feel superior to other people. So whenever
Superior complex.
does something, and that's what a lot of people have, and Kyle must have it as well because when she came in there just speaking about it, like soon as when I watched the episode, and I was like, why? Like, as soon as she started talking about it, why even bring that up? You already know what's going to happen. You know it's going to be drama. You already said what you already spoke up like about how you felt too sudden about it. So what's the point of it to the girls to discuss it, to make Dorit feel bad, or so all the girls can sit around and point their fingers at her? Oh, shame on you. You get what I'm saying? Like, just don't bring it
You
up
know
at
what it
all.
is?
I just felt like I don't stand with Sudden, but I don't like the fact that Kyle brought that up at all. Go ahead.
You know what it is?
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I'm going to keep saying it. This is the big three. This is the many faces of a opportunist. And this is the one thing that I feel like is a flaw with Bravo. I feel like when you sign up for these shows, whether it's Real Housewives of Atlanta, whether it's anything on VH1 as far as like Love and Hip Hop, anything that deals with reality TV, I feel like you should give us you. Yes, I do understand that when it comes, the baggage that comes with you also includes family. It also includes past stuff. It also includes your relationship. Like, it includes a lot of things. But I also don't want to sit back and not get to know who you are as a person. And I feel like that's the one thing that lacks with Beverly Hills. And I think that's why a lot of people always leave the show. I necessarily never say that these girls run people off the show. Either they leave the show or the show doesn't ask them to come back. But just for instance, when we had Kyle talked about Kathy for what, about 10 seasons? She talked about Kim. Kim was her main talking point for at least a good 5. Kim was the housewife, and Kim was Kyle's storyline. Kyle never had anything. Kyle never has anything. Kyle brings one thing on here, which is a store
Except
that
for
never.
recovering addict,
Kim.
allegedly.
Kim.
Yeah.
Her main talking point was Kim for 5 seasons.
I'm kind of happy that Kyle has a backbone now, because she didn't have that before when Kim and everyone else was on the show,
You know why
especially
she
with
has the
Lisa.
backbone? You know why she has the backbone now? Because she built the team.
Why?
She built the team, and nobody's not saying that that Kyle's this master manipulator, and she has this massive big brain, and she's calculating and stuff like that. It's nothing. It's nothing of the sort. But you get to see it every time when this stuff happens. She has a team. Regardless of who was on her team, she has a team. But because she now has Lisa, Dorit, and Erica, she has a solid enough team where she feel like she can finally voice her opinion the way she wants to, and she'll have people behind her back. Now it's like you can look over on your left shoulder, you can look over on your right shoulder, and you know that you got at least 4 soldiers sitting there behind you. But you know what she also does? She also sits back and then she does this stuff. But she'll meet with the people she does this stuff one-on-one and then kiss and make up. And that's why I'm happy, once again, that we have the big three sitting there because it's just the dynamic of Housewives. If it was not for Garcelle, Sutton wouldn't have been on this show that long. They would have ran Sutton off. Thank God for Garcelle, and thank God that Crystal and Sutton hashed through their little issue, because if Sutton didn't hash through her issue with Crystal, it would have never, Crystal would have been with Kyle and them.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God that Bravo shifted the dynamics, because the one thing that I really do hate when it comes to Beverly Hills specifically is that they never is that some of these girls never get to present to us them fully. We only get the half of them. And even though I don't, well, not really, because I can't even say that, because she only gave people what she wanted to give them too. I feel like this is the first time we're getting to see the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills like fully through, like on all sides of the spectrum.
I think that the older seasons of the show was better. Like with all the ladies, with Brandy and Lisa, like the first cast.
No
Just really
show
not feeling
will
Sutton.
ever no show will ever be any show that has longevity will never be good as their first as its premiere season. And that's only because you get to
That gets better.
huh?
I said except for Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah. But that's because
That gets better.
Housewives of Atlanta had big hitters on there, and and they had people that became big hitters on there.
Mm-hmm.
With a lot of these girls, I feel like, especially with a lot of these shows, it's never good as the first season, because the first season is basically the rawest that you'll ever get out of something. That's how raw it is. The first season is the raw. It's like that's all you like. It doesn't really get any better than that. I feel like once you constantly have one person that's on a show but has their hands in the pot, it becomes something tricky, because it's like, oh well, you can take this person out and I'll put this person in, or you can take this person out and we can put this person in. So it's like I'm like slowly building your team. So shows do that and then they lack, like how Royal Housewives was lacking for a minute. And then you get a new setup like this, and the show becomes great. Same thing with Real Housewives of Atlanta. They had an exceptional cast up to season 9, and then after season 9, things kind of lagged out a little bit. It was still great. Like what we were getting from them was still good, as much as people try to downplay it. What we got from them was still good, but it still lags. So you kind of now it's like you kind of have to start over. You know how like it's like trial and error. Like you hit it a few times, you miss a few times, but eventually after missing a few times, you'll hit it. So I just feel like that Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is definitely going in a good direction. I like it, but I feel like after this season, I don't think some of these people are going to be coming back.
I say bring Lisa back and her gay assistant. Was it her assistant? You know, the one that robbed her or something? He did some messed up stuff to her.
Girl, he don't talk to her no
Bring them
more.
back.
He don't talk to her no more, girl. He all the way living his best life.
I know.
But
Is he really?
yeah,
I love
it's
their
like,
dynamic of their relationship too. I don't know. I can't remember Lisa Vanderpump, but I loved her relationship with him and her relationship with him and Brandy both. And now, like, she didn't have a good run with. I mean, she had some girls, even with Kyle. I think she even fought with Kyle at one point.
girl, her and Kyle fought since season 1.
Well, not even fought. Kyle cried.
They had their relationship was never the same after season 1, and that's because, like I said, Kyle's an opportunist.
Yep, Kyle was too needy with Lisa. It was like she needed Lisa attention or she needed her praise. I get that. I think it was more because of her husband's job that she wanted to be friends with Lisa and stuff. Like I think it was more
Girl,
for like networking and
well,
connections.
we can talk about this offline because
What?
now we're getting off topic, and you'll be complaining about how we're
Oh,
going too long. So we can talk
okay.
about this once the live over with. So
All right. Sorry.
thank you guys for watching another TSL show review. Please be sure, if you guys have Twitter, follow us on Twitter. My co-host is
And
making
make
a
sure to
TikTok.
chat.
So
Like chat with us, socialize with us. Like we're here, we're talking, we're live. We want to hear you guys' feedback. Like with whatever it is. You love me, you can't stand torn. We all know that. Like whatever
girl,
it might be.
it'll never be that. But the people that watch this show, I'm hoping you guys are not brainwashed like my co-host is.
But as always, keep it shady.
Mm. Catch you guys on Sunday with
Yo, you hate my keep it shady.
catch you guys
Keep
on
it shady.
catch you guys on Sunday
It's
with
okay. It's okay, Bubba.
catch you guys on
It's okay, Bubba. I'm right here. I'm okay.
get the
I'm okay,
phone.
Bubba. It's okay, Bubba. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We'll catch you guys Sunday with another review of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Yes, this is a double feature week. Atlanta comes back on this week, so we'll catch you guys on Tuesday of next week, and we'll be back to talking about Atlanta. But until then, tell a friend to tell a friend. Catch up on all our stuff. We have about, I want to say it's 6. Is it 6 reviews out? Yes, we have 6 reviews out on our YouTube page. You guys are doing a tremendous job with getting our views up there. So tell a friend, copy our link, give our links to people, let them know the vibes that we are giving up because we're definitely giving you guys a different type of review. And we'll see you guys again on Sunday. Same time, 8 o'clock, you guys.
Keep it shady.
Okay.